Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is Jaylee's Corner. This is my review for Raise to Love. Is it Raise to Love? Is anybody on this show actually ready to love? We shall see. Okay, this is season 4, episode 8, the review. Okay, let's go ahead, girl. Let's go ahead and get into. Y'all know to do the same things all the time. Subscribe to my channel, this one, and also my secondary channel, JayLee's Corner Talk, please and thank you. Okay, y'all know to like and comment and share and relax and center yourself and inhale and exhale because that's the things that we also have to do. Okay, and y'all know to follow me on social media at JayLeesCorner on IG, on Twitter, on TikTok, and yes, also on CashApp if you want to send me a donation. But let's move on from that. Okay, and y'all know to like the video and subscribe because that's what I say all the time. And yes, I am here. It's 2 a.m., so no lipstick. I don't feel like putting lipstick on. But let's try to go ahead and get through this thing, whatever. Do not forget the next 2 weeks for the Ladies First panel. We're having shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays, shorter shows because we're going to be off the last 2 weeks of the month for a good old hiatus because we've been going strong since February. We've only had, I think, the one Thursday or 2 Thursdays off since February. So again, we're trying to get a little bit of rest before we come back for our new season starting January 6th. So again, on the 7th, the 9th, the 14th, and the 16th, we'll be live on the channel that you see on the screen or whatever. Okay, so see y'all then. Now let's get into this. Now this week, all the men had to introduce the women to an ex. Okay, and Tommy said the ex will be the one to give them a bit of perspective. Okay, a different perspective per se on how the ladies may be. Okay, now none of the men were happy. And my thing is, would I be happy for my new dude to meet one of my old dudes? It depends on what dude it is. I don't, mm-mm. No, I wouldn't mind it either. But again, whatever. Okay. So first up, we had Cornelius, who had a pop off screen. Cornelius had his ex Tanika meet Camille. Okay. Now Camille was not as petty as I thought she would be meeting Tanika. I assume she rolled her eyes and just have no attitude, but she was friendly in her face. Okay. Now Tanika. So Tanika was asking, about are you really ready to be in a relationship, whatever? Because he's celibate. Are you ready for that? And also asked her how, considering the fact that she's been engaged 3 times, okay, before, what's gonna be different this time if she, if things work out with Cornelius or whatever. And Camille does say she was engaged when she was younger, because she was young or whatever, did not know what she was doing. And so the guy that she was engaged to at that point in time was also not, on a walk with God, okay? And with Cornelius or whatever, he is on this walk with God and she gonna follow him down a path, and being celibate is a way to help them get stronger and closer to God. That's what she wanted to do. And it's weird because she not saying any of this because it's what she wants or it's the path she's been following. She's saying all of this because that's what he say he doing. And I feel like you can't go into something saying, okay, because he is walking with God, let me do it because he no, you should want to do it for yourself. Okay, but I'm leave that be. Now, so it was a good meeting or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And when she was leaving, she gonna ask us when she leaving. And I'm like, Camille, you know how it go. The same way that your friends met with him last week and then he left and y'all sat and chit and chatted, he gotta sit with her and chit and chat. Get out his face, okay? It's like, when's she leaving? Oh, she gonna be, yes, she's still there. Okay, get out, Camille. Get out. Okay. Now Tanika tells him that, Camille had really good answers, okay? Really good answers. But she feels like she's an attractive person, okay? But there's something underneath the surface of Camille that, could be something different. Camille is a bit cuckoo. This is a bit cuckoo. And I don't mean like she's mentally insane, but a part of her just like need to calm down, sit down somewhere, and stop being so high strung about this man right here. And the friends or the ex kid, if you were going to like be with her or like propose to her tomorrow, I would say, wait. Don't do it. Okay. So again, that was that whole meeting. Next up, we had this bunch of people. Okay. We had Phil, who had his ex, Debrina, meet Shiloh and Tasia. Okay. Now Shiloh walked like, oh, I feel good energy. Okay. I feel good energy. Because she walked in and she met Sabrina first. Okay. Then Tasia got there. And I don't know if Tasia realized Shiloh would be there. I can't remember what she said. But she came, oh, okay, hey, whatever. And she was then upset because of the seating arrangement. She felt like, why am I sat all the way over here like I'm a homewrecker? Okay, like I'm not no, I'm like a homewrecker. Who called you a homewrecker, man? Nobody said that. She said that because it was, the Brina was sitting on one side of the table, then Phil. Then it was Shiloh, and then it was her. So for her, she was too far away from him. And she felt like the ex girlfriend should have been the one sitting where she was sitting, and Shiloh and her should have been sitting next to on each side of the field. And I don't have an issue with that, but I also wouldn't have an issue with that because I mean it's a conversation, okay? I'm gonna leave that be. She also brings up, I felt like they were trying to cut me off of the conversation and kept over talking me, and you can tell to see it felt out of place. And I don't really know why she felt that way. It was weird to me because it was four people sitting somewhere. Um, you can have a good conversation. It's not like it was seven people and you was over in the corner. It's like you sitting one person away from him. Just have a good time to see. I believe that be too. Now, Debrina asked them like, "What's some good qualities about y'all stuff or whatever?" But when she asked them about if they had any bad traits that someone would say about them, Tasia brings up how for her she's very strategic. Okay, she's a calculating person. That she can be an uptight person who doesn't like going with the flow. I was like, "Well, girl, you those are not you cannot be because calculating and strategic seems weird a little bit sometimes or whatever, and then to be uptight and do not like to go with the flow, you're controlling is what it is. And I do feel like that could be the reason to why she feels off in any situation that she isn't in control of, because she feels as if she's probably being put at a disadvantage. And I'm like, Mama, just don't do that. Don't do that. But in the Brenda asked, like, what is there anything that your ex might say about you? Honey, to see it said, um, I'm not ready to talk to you about those things or whatever. So I'm done with this. I was like, okay. And Phil said how Sabrina was being really, really friendly as if she was making new friends. And to see her also say, we're not friends. I do feel like maybe the ex girl, was being really, really friendly. And to see, like, no, we not cool or whatever. Now, Shiloh, on the other hand, didn't seem to have those same, like, vibes or whatever, if I'm leave that be. And when Shiloh then asked, well, what are Phil's red flags? What about him? And then she's like, well, he can do better at communication. I'm saying he needs to express himself more. I can see that because some kind of way Phil is out here getting all these ladies, but he ain't said much. Okay, how is it happening? I'm trying to wonder what's going on around here. Okay, now Phil, not Phil, Tasia, no, the girls leave. Day's over. Fine, fine, fine. And when Phil and Debrina's talking, she said that she feels as if, what I'm saying, I don't know. And Phil was like, his strongest connections with Shiloh. However, there's an intensity in Tasia that isn't ideal for everybody, but he kind of likes it, so he's torn. I'm like, you're not torn, sir. There's no tea, no shade. No one is torn over to Sia. And my reason for that is because I feel like she has a wall up. I think her wall could be from her saying she is, she controls stuff. She in her head she has to do things her way. And that's a block that she has up, and that can be why she's single. But I'm gonna leave that be. Okay. Now the next little threesome, not threesome, but the people that we have up is Frank. Frank had his ex Leah meet with Sydney and Mumi. This is first of all, I was like, Frank, that's your ex. Look, I don't have anything against white people. I really, really don't. But I feel like when, anyone comes on this kind of show, which is typically, I'm saying, they're trying to introduce black men to black women. And then when your ex is a white girl, I'm looking like, so is this your experiment? Like, you don't have no black exes? And not saying you can't bring on a white ex, but I was like, okay, if you say so. Anyway, and Frank do like him and who they like him. Um, Now Sydney came with a whole laundry list of questions. I'm like, damn girl, she was ready to question Frank on this, that, or the other. So she came prepared. Okay. Now when Mumin got there, and well, no, was Mumin already there? I can't remember. Anyway, but Momeen said how for her she can tell that Frank and Sydney has a connection. Okay, things work with them, but she's not concerned. She's not worried or whatever because that they have a connection too. Momeen does have this um confidence in herself that I love. But I also feel like is there also a bit of conceitedness to it? I don't know if that's a word. Um, to feel like I don't have to put up much effort because I'm so beautiful and because I trust our connection, even if trying a little bit harder can get you what you want. Not saying that Frank is a prize to be won and that she should try harder to get him. But I just wonder that even with Sydney, I think Sydney has the same thing. She's so gorgeous. Okay, I think they both think they have it in the bag or whatever. But I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'll leave that be. Anyway, so they were talking. I was barely listening because Sydney was asking me questions, and then Sydney got up and started dabbing Frank with the napkin because he was sweating. And I was like, "Why is she? He can't wipe himself off. He can't. He ain't. Girl, I'm leave that be." It was just weird to me. And when the girls left or whatever, it was like a meeting. When the girls left, Leah, the white girl, made a great point in saying, "You're dating two. Like, boom." Boom. You're dating two completely different women. How, Mumin and Sydney are not the same. So I don't know what you should do because they're so different. And I was like, hmm, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I feel like Frank also had liked uh Aisha, who we did not see. I'm like, how do we not see Aisha this episode? What's wrong with that? But again, I don't know. I don't know about Frank. I think Frank may be playing some games around here that we don't know about or whatever. Okay. We then seen Walter. Walter had hit girl Walter's ex, Denise, Denise, and the big bamboo earrings and the long lime green nails and the bright red shirt with the matching girl. I'm like, it's Lil Kim from the neck up. Okay, old Lil Kim from 99. That's 99 Lil Kim. But I was like, that's Walter's ex? Okay. She seems so wonderfully ghetto. And I don't mean ghetto at all in any kind of negative connotation. I mean, hood, okay? Because I'm hood too. She seemed real hood, and Walter to me tried to seem as less hood as we would think. So yeah, I was like, it was a bamboo earrings and the nails for me. I was like, really, Walter? Okay. Now, once Sabrina got there first, and to me, Sabrina was really snappy. And I'm like, why does Sabrina have an attitude? Like, how you, like, it's a part of the show. You had five people meet Walter and Sean last episode. How are you upset and even snappy that you're having to meet one person of Walter? I was just confused. I was like, why is she upset? You just walked in, ma'am, and it wasn't as if Denise had any negative energy. She welcomed you in a hug. I was confused. Okay. So I was like, girl, whatever. So when Denise said, oh, you look like it's tight, but you're beautiful, you're beautiful, you seem sophisticated, whatever. So you're saying that's what this is type. And Walter loved the challenge. Sabrina then said, and I am a challenge. So Denise said, oh, like, you have like a little bit of crazy to you? And she did not say it in any rude, mean way. You just said You are very much so a challenge. And her question was, oh, is it a little bit crazy? To me, it was a harmless question with no shade or whatever. You won't know. And Sabrina then said, oh, I am too classy and too fabulous to ever be crazy. And I was like, that was a crazy response. Okay. It was an aggressive, not aggressive. It was a snappy. It was a snappy response. So I was like, what for? Okay. And so Denise said, oh, well, okay. So what question do you have about Walter? Because again, this is about talking to the person's ex and ask them things, about the man or whatever. The same way with the friends, it was to figure things out and whatnot. Honey Sabrina then said, "Any questions I have about Walter, I'll ask Walter. I don't really need to talk to anyone else to validate who he is." And I was like, "But you have 5 friends question both Walter and Sean last week to validate who you should be with, Sabrina. You are a bit crazy." You are. You're very snappy, and I was confused. What did they cut out to make her have these kind of responses? Is what I'm wondering. Okay, I'm gonna leave that be. Then Mumine walked in, and when Mumine walked in, you seen Sabrina shocked that Mumine was there too. Okay, so she then said, "Oh, I have to go. I have a styling appointment I have to go to." And I was like, "Why? Really? Now you do?" I'm leave that be. And again, Sabrina then said in her confessional, you know, saying that um his connection with anybody else, don't matter to me because I know he gonna come home to me because daddy know where home is. I was like, why is she acting? It was weird to me how she was acting. Again, considering you just had the same event kind of happened the last episode where you don't. I'm leave that be too. Anyway, when we get there, whatever they chit and chat. She said she didn't want kids. You know what I'm saying? She does not want to have sex until marriage or whatever. But she also has to leave for a singing gig. And I was like, oh, she sing? Okay. Anyway, so she leave. And then Denise and Walter talk or whatnot. And she say that she thinks Mumine might be a better fit for Walter because she's a bit easier. Okay, she's a bit safer. She's more down to earth or whatever, and she seems to want to get to know you. She's like, I do not think she wants to get married just yet, but I do think she wants some kind of lasting commitment. But Sabrina gives off controlling and or crazy vibes that could be under the surface of her being so closed up. And I was like, I know. And Walter then brought up how he, does have a strong connection with Sabrina, but that's also the reason why he's been taking it slow because he also feels like it can be something right below the surface. I'm like, because I was like, why was she so standoffish too? Did these ain't do shit to nobody? Anyway, I'm leave that be. We then to the next little meetup. Her nigga was all these little dates. Dante, wrong button. Dante, I'm Papa Springs, I'm tired. Uh, Dante, has this ex Stacy, who was she's so cute. I love her braids, so cute. Meet up with Zadia and Shiloh. Now Zadia got there first or whatever, and she was shocked when she seen Shiloh walk in. And she was like, "Oh, I wonder if Dante knew that she was coming." I'm like, I mean, he would have to invite her. Of course he knew. Okay. And I'm like, why? I'm like, I'm wondering, does Zaya feel like she deserved a one on one and not to be, grouped up with somebody else meeting the, ex or whatever? That was nice and whatnot. Anyway, but she had, I need another drink. I'm like, for what? It's just, you just meeting. It's weird. I'm like, you just meeting people. I don't understand. And so Shiloh did asked what's her name? I forgot her name that quick. Uh Stacy. Zadia did ask Shiloh asked Stacy if she noticed a change in Dante when they dated. And she said, well, yeah, he moved here to DC and he has matured and grown into a much more responsible person or whatever. And that I would date him now, even after dating him before because of how much I see change him. He really came here and found himself. And I was like, okay, you say so. So it was a cute little, date, but you did see Shiloh asking more like, oh, what are red flags for him or whatever. But I was really listening. Um When they left, Stacy did say she thinks that Shiloh is a better fit for him because Zadia kept asking like about dirt. Okay, she want like dirt or like shady shit on Dante, whereas Shiloh was asking more things like to see what was good about him, and it was like any shady shit or whatever. And I'm like, look, it's nothing wrong with asking people what's his flaws. Maybe will he kill me? Will I live to see another day? There's nothing wrong with asking those things, but if that's all you're asking, it can come off like you want to see what's the worst in the person you don't care about what's good. So it's a catch 22. I'm gonna leave that being one up because it can go either way. So again, the date was okay, but I think Zadia still felt weird, okay? And then we see Zadia on a meeting date with Naeem's ex, Victoria. Now, to me, this was the first time in the dates seemed like true exes, okay? Because, and I also felt like Zadia walked up looking defeated, and I felt like it could have been she was just tired of meeting the exes or whatever. But again, the what's her name? Victoria and Naeem, I'm like, oh, they was exes, okay? Because when she brought up how, because Zadia said her love language was, was touching, and cuddling or whatever. And so Victoria then said, oh, we know he don't like cuddling. And he said, yes, I do. And she's like, oh, you used to like cuddling with me? I'm like, was y'all fussing about who cuddled when y'all was together? And he's supposed to be trying to get with Zadia. What is going on here? And Zadia was like, okay, what's going on here? I'm like, honey, two exes fussing. Okay, that's what it was. But anyway, we're gonna leave that be. So she does tell Zadia that he has not really been in many like serious relationships because he's a wall up, because he's very particular or whatever. And once he sees the deal breaker, he puts his wall up. So he wants what he wants. And if he feel like something isn't right, he is kind of like, all right, I'm done. So again, I'm like, why is he here? Why is he here? I feel like this show should be for people who have really tried to be in actual relationships and those just have not worked out. Not people who've been in like situationships and hadn't really been trying, and this is their first try at something real. That's some bullshit or whatever. And when Zadia leaves, Victoria said that all he ever sees is fat asses, and so sometimes he don't think about how women can be using him for a come up or whatever. Um, because she feel like Zadia may not be able to be there for him emotionally. And I was like, I mean, I didn't see that, but I'm gonna let that be. Sometimes I'm like, what? I didn't get that feel, but again, I wasn't there. Now we means a quick little scene of Sydney and Phil on a date because Sydney said when she saw him at the mixer that she came to for the first time, how she was surprised he didn't come up and talk to her, but she definitely noticed him from across the room. And I'm like, Phil is built like a football player, so you can see him from across the room or whatever, and he is handsome. And so Phil said for him, he gives everybody a fair chance or whatever. So, I'm saying? I'm here to see what happens. Now, she likes him, okay? And he said he liked her too, and that it's more to her than just a preface. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, Phil, girl, look, Phil has Sydney, he has Shiloh, he has Tasia, he has Aisha. Is it Aisha or Alicia? I don't know. I think it's Aisha. And also Aisha. So Phil has many. I'm like, who left? Nobody. Phil has all the women on his side. Okay. So with these on the men meet up to have a little conversation or whatever. Again. So Phil has so it's Aisha, it's Shiloh, it's Sydney, and it's to see it. That's literally half the damn cast. Okay, let's make that clear. I might stop it. Now the men talk or whatever. Now Frank say, both his dates with Sydney and Mumin were great. They had a great time and whatnot. Okay, Walter brings up how he felt like between Mumin and Sabrina, that his ex thought that Mumin was a better choice over Sabrina because Sabrina seems to be holding her composure like someone who will snap once they lose it. And I'm like, that sounds a little bit true. Okay, Phil says how to see us seem nervous at their meeting, and he was not used to seeing her nervous. He was not used to seeing her be nervous, so that was weird to him. Um, Dante brings up how his ex said that Zadia was very flustered, and you could tell that. But I think her flusterness came from she was kind of upset that Shiloh showed up. Um, but he also mentioned how he also likes Aisha, and I'm like, when did when did that happen? When did Dante and Aisha even have girl? I'm like, I'm leave that be. Anyway, Cornelius brings up how his ex wondered, how was wondering about how many times Camille has been engaged, and if that's some kind of red flag or whatever. And that when she was leaving, when Camille was leaving, how she kept questioning him on when the ex gonna leave. Tommy said, "Are you? I feel like you're missing or you're avoiding some signs." Okay, meaning we all see the red flags with Camille, but you never mention them. Like you'll talk about them, but you don't say, that's some bullshit. It's so dumb because I feel like Camille, and I could well Camille too, but he gonna leave this and they're not gonna work out. That's what I feel. And it's gonna be sad because he hasn't even taken any time to get to know anybody else since he's the whole fucking time. It's so stupid, okay? Now who they don't like. Frank said to Sia, Dante said to Sia. Now Walter was about to say Camille, but he then said he didn't want to do that to Cornelius because that's his only match. And that's fucked up. They should not have to not say someone's name at this point because someone else is someone else's own person when she on some bullshit. I mean that be and when Phil was about to say her name too, Walter then no, don't say her name. I'm like, what? What? So Phil said Sabrina. And I was like, see, Walter, you up for trying to save her and they say Sabrina name because Cornelius also said Sabrina. So again, you trying to save Camille for Cornelius, and they like fuck you, bro. They're gonna send home Sabrina. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They had to figure out who they're gonna send home. So the bottom two, okay, was Cecilia, who met up with Phil, and then Sabrina, who met up with Frank. Okay, now I feel like first of all, the scenery of these dates be hilarious to me when they be in this shit. Okay. We do see with Phil and Sia. She brings up how for her, she has tried her best to not let this process get to her. You know what I'm saying? That whoever she ends up with, she know it'll be great. Okay. But she's been, you know what I'm saying, going full force here. But he like, look, I want you to know the man said you're not ready to love. And I feel like you should have known that because I don't think any of the men ever fully gave her attention as much as she needed. She was always someone's like number two or three, and that's never a good place to be or whatever. And she said, "Okay, I don't have anything to say about that. I guess you know, what I'm saying, being real, don't make the cut." And I don't think it was about her being real that made her not make the cut. I do think she had a wall up, and I think again it's because she may be controlling, and some of this on this show you can't control. So that could have been her downfall. Now I was meeting with Sabrina and Frank. Honey, Frank said, like, look, uh I'm looking forward to shrinking my numbers or whatever and shrinking my connections or whatever and making sure that whoever I connect to is valuable. She's like, oh, so does that mean our connection, like, it's coming to an end? I'm like, yeah, I was connecting. And so apparently they were, and she brings up how, she had been reaching out to him, but he had not been responding. Okay, I would call you, wouldn't call back or whatever. And that she doesn't have time for him blowing smoke up her ass. She then went off and saying that, you know what I'm saying, no one, she's like, this is the week for the women to go home. And no one reached out to me except for Walter. And I'm like, okay, but who else is you not cussing out right now to where they may want to, you know what I'm saying, take you out or whatever. And I feel like she has a right to say y'all on some fuck shit and y'all ain't talking to me, but if you not connected to nobody except Walter and Frank, and if Frank ain't calling you back, I mean, just focus on Walter, I guess. But he do tell her that she ain't going nowhere. I really felt like they was gonna eliminate two people, but they did not. So she's staying. He's like, I just wanted you to know, that the men kind of felt like, you weren't as not as open. But he just told her what the guys were saying, that she would be aware going forward or whatever. So that's basically what it was. And she do say that she could have done things differently or whatever, but she didn't because the guys weren't doing shit either. I'm like, right, she do not need to do more than what they doing. If the guys ain't doing shit, she don't do shit either. Okay, leave that be. Anyway, so that was the whole episode. We see next week will be the cash trip. that I can't wait to see. So let's get to that. Okay. Anyway, I will talk to y'all later. I will see you when I see you.